Hey, did you end up getting a new job? Yeah, I did. Assassinating you! Oh! Okay.
That was the heaviest episode of Rick and Morty I've ever seen. It had commentary on politics and capitalism, racism, police corruption, classism, and incest porn.
For a friend of mine.
Before we get into it, in honor of the citadel of Ricks, we're giving away this Rick Funko Pop. Also, Pickle Rick came into the office, so stick around for the end of the episode to see what he and Chastity got into. Shenanigans, I'm guessing. Alright, let's break down Rick and Morty Season 3, Episode 7, the Ricklantis Mixup. This episode was originally titled Tales from the Citadel, but they changed it, probably to mess with those Reddit conspiracy theorists. It was 6 distinct storylines, all culminating together in one dark-ass ending. By the way, if you want to skip to the references section, just click the link in the description below. I won't even be mad, and maybe you'll be less mad in the YouTube comments.
Hey, still not curious about what might have happened at that crazy Citadel place?
Not at all, Morty. That place will never have any bearing over our lives ever again. Unlike that mermaid puss, yeah!
In the first narrative, Rick and Morty from C-137 go to Atlantis. They come back having enjoyed themselves, but there was no conflict, which is why we didn't see any of it. Because we don't really like things unless something bad happens. Although I'm sure a bunch of you would have been fine just hearing more about mermaid puss. Okay, I would have been fine with it too.
I see it in our streets, where they give guns to Mortys, so we're too busy fighting each other to fight real injustice.
Next, a rookie cop Rick is paired with a grizzled cop Morty. The whole thing was a commentary on racism and police violence, like when Cop Morty attacked this regular Morty for no reason other than he's just a Morty. If you need it explained, in this allegory, the Mortys are the minorities and the Ricks are non-minorities.
You should be terrified. Maybe you should find a little faith, young man. You don't pay me to have faith, and we're the same age.
President Morty's campaign manager's story has Reddit theorists going nuts. Okay, so he's fired for lacking faith in the campaign. Then he's approached by a shady investigator Rick and given a file containing pictures that show President Morty is actually evil Morty. He attempts to assassinate President Morty, and both he and investigator Rick wind up floating in space at the end. Was Investigator Rick sent by evil Morty to give those pictures to Campaign Morty so he would try to assassinate him, to generate affection for him and win him the election? I don't know. You bunch of nerds, I have no idea. A regular Rick who works at Simple Rick Cookie Factory is fed up with his lot in life. He snaps, killing his boss and taking the source of the Cookie Factory's flavor hostage. Eventually, he accidentally kills him, but the Willy Wonka-like owner of the factory ends up capturing him and using him to keep creating cookies. This is a commentary on classism and capitalism. People are stuck doing crap jobs with crap pay, even though they deserve better, and if they decide to try to fight back against their corporate overlords, they're sometimes used as an example or a deterrent against other people doing the same thing.
Come home to the impossible flavor of your own completion. Come home to Simple Rick.
The Simple Rick's commercial is a meta joke itself.
I remember feeling I must be someone very special when my granddad gave me his wonderful butter candy.
It's a literal example of what every Werther's original commercial is trying to tell you. A better time, a better place, a better version of you in a cookie.
I love being your new Morty.
I love being your new Farty.
4 Mortys are being re-educated to be recycled to other Ricks and decide to make the most of their last day before graduation and go to find the wishing portal. It's an obvious homage to Stand By Me. Everybody has their Morty equivalent. You have Corey Feldman Morty, River Phoenix Morty, Jerry McConnell Morty, and I think this kind of looks like Will Wheaton. In the end, Slick Morty jumps into the portal, and it turns out to be a garbage chute. The wishing portal turns out to be just a place for trash, which is very, very Rick and Morty.
We've been running the Citadel since before the Council, and you'll find that we're still running it now.
Does he really speak for everyone here?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to be clear. Raise your hand if he speaks for you.
Lastly, evil Morty returns to the show and becomes president of the Citadel. This storyline touches on what a media circus presidential elections are, and it's an allegory of how candidates use anger, fear, and frustration to gain power. It's also commenting that no matter which Rick you vote for, they're all still just Rick. The whole thing is pretty obviously about Donald Trump's campaign. I know other people have said it's not, but his presidential bid was considered a joke, he was an anti-establishment candidate, and he fired his campaign manager. The whiteboard on the back of the campaign headquarters actually says, "The Morty Advantage, alternate news sources." Also, the campaign website is ogs.com. That's not about Donald Trump, but that's really funny. Once Evil Morty does gain power, the Citadel logo gets an M on it. But it also has like a weird thing wrapped around it, so it looks like the Citadel logo is being grabbed by like a little Morty hand. My favorite jokes for this episode were Slow Rick being called Tall Morty.
Yes, Slow Rick, Tall Morty. Did I graduate this time yet? Anything's possible, Tall Morty.
The Ricks from the D617 universe getting progressively worse as they went on.
I say appreciate the life you have, because it can always be worse. Back to you, Ricks. Thank you, Rick 716C. That guy. Tell me about it.
And also the left-handed Morty line.
I thought I was left-handed, Morty. Then you should use your left hand to eat more vegetables.
Some references that I saw. Teacher Rick is an homage to Severus Snape from Harry Potter, who is played by Alan Rickman? There's a trunk person in this episode seen shaking hands with candidate Morty. Trunk people were scientifically made to be able to have sex with both genders, and the fact that candidate Morty is shaking hands with them is like the Rick and Morty equivalent of a presidential candidate shaking hands with someone in the LGBT community, and I thought that that was really funny. During the Morty parade, there are two signs that reference old episodes. One says, "Don't be trippin', dog," which is from the episode Lawnmower Dog when Rick and Morty talk to Scary Terry.
Yo, Scary T, don't even trip about your pants, dog. Here's a pair on us, fool.
Oh, bitch.
And also, "No one exists on purpose," which is a reference to Morty's line at the end of Rick's D-Minutes.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.
The four Mortys coming out of the window scene from the intro sequence showed up in this episode, which made me hopeful that next week we'll see the Buttface universe. We probably won't see the Buttface universe. The one truly happy Rick from Simple Ricks has a lot in common with the way Rick described his life during the Season 3 premiere. Behind Rick with the camera, you can see Beth with a horse as a child, and behind Beth and the birthday cake, there's a picture that looks like it might be Poopy Butthole Pooerson from Justin Roiland's The Unmarketables.
Hello there, I'm Poopy Butthole Pooerson. Oh, you can call me Dirty Wet Poopy Poopy Sloppy Pooer Hole. That's what my friends call me.
But it also might just be a picture of Rick's dad or something. In the room that Rick is stabbed in, "Get Schwifty" is written on the wall, which is obviously a reference from the episode Get Schwifty. In the Creepy Morty strip club thing, people are saying that this is Justin Roiland Morty, and this guy looks like Dan Harmon Morty, getting a lap dance from a Morty in cutoff jeans. There's also a Marty McFly Morty and a no outline Morty, but we'll put out another video with every Rick and Morty variation we found in the episode later this week. The mega seeds from the pilot episode show back up when the Mortys are chased away from them by Farmer Rick. At the end, we see the same Mortys collecting them while Farmer Rick protests in the background. The Rick hegemony being disposed of reminds me of a scene from James Bond Thunderball. The next episode is called Manchurian Candidate, which is an homage to a movie called The Manchurian Candidate, which is about a presidential assassination. So I'm guessing it might be about that. And now for a special weird message from Chastity and Pickle Rick. Thanks for watching, I love you.
Thanks, buddy. Guys, be sure to click the link in the description below so you can win this week's giveaway. It's a Rick Pop! Ooh! Yes, you can win this one, or actually, I think I'm gonna keep this one. So thank you. Bye!